All right, eighth grade. Good morning or good afternoon. We are ready to jump into lesson 2. So, today you're going to learn about search terms and credible sources and use these skills to research GMOs. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do our interest ticket for today, which can be found on page 94 in your student workbook. The question asks, if you had to do online research to find more information about the omnivore's dilemma, what words or terms would you type into a search engine to find information? So go ahead and work through this now. Once you've finished, I want you guys to turn and talk with your elbow partner about what you wrote down, and then I will go over this with you. All right, guys. So now that you're finished with the entrance ticket, let's go over what you might have written down. So you might have written that you would search The Omnivore's Dilemma, which is the title of the book we're reading. You might search Michael Pollan, which is the author. You might search The Secrets Behind What You Eat. You might search Food Rules. So if you put anything different than what I said, great, good job. So proud of you guys. Try to write down as many answers as you can because this is all going to help you as you begin researching for your own work. All right, so let's look at our learning targets. So today we have 3. The first says, I can access the credibility of digital sources while conducting research. The second says, I can use search terms effectively to gather information from digital sources. The third says, I can conduct research to answer a question about how GMOs influence our access to healthy foods. So let's do a mini lesson here. Let's jump into, this is our first work time session of the day. We're going to talk about search terms and credibility of sources. So anyone can publish anything on the internet, okay? And as you conduct research, you're going to be asked to determine the credibility of each source. I want you guys to capture this vocabulary word and write it into your notebooks. So the term bias. Bias means the support or opposition of a particular person or thing in an unfair way because of personal feelings, okay? I'm going to ask that your teacher display the researcher's toolbox, which is right here on the board, okay? And that you guys go through and read the section that says choose and use credible internet sources. So I want you guys to go ahead and work through this now. Talk about this as you go. Your teacher can popcorn read, maybe ask you guys to identify the different things and read the definition. And let's just have some discussion about this around the room. So once you're finished going through this, come back to me and we'll move forward. All right, guys. So let's look at to GMO or not to GMO. Okay, this is in your student workbooks. So if you will go ahead and pull this up. And then you also need access to healthy food research, the GMO's note catcher. Go ahead and pull that up as well, or have that out on your desk. So is this source credible? Why or why not? So I want you guys to get into either pairs or groups of 3, okay? And I want you guys to talk about this. Is this source credible? Why or why not? Okay, so let's go ahead and have some discussion about this. Your teacher can walk the room and then come back to me when you're ready to move forward. All right, guys, so I know you guys probably said a lot of different things, but you should have came to the consensus that this is a credible source. The publisher is a children's magazine. It was published in 2014, so it's not too out of date. It presents both sides, and one of the authors published 90 children's books. So that establishes credibility. If you can publish 90 books, you are establishing yourself as a credible author. All right. So in your pairs today, you're going to work together to conduct internet research. I want you guys to search these terms that you see on the right-hand side: GMOs, genetically modified foods, and genetic engineering, okay? You'll use a search engine such as Google. I want you guys to scan the results to see if any look like they will help answer the research question that you guys have been asked, okay? You've got to determine if they're credible, and if not, you've then got to put in more specific search terms or keywords in order to find the more credible sources. So I want you guys to go ahead and just try working through some of these search terms right now with your partner. See what you find, discuss whether what you're finding is credible, why or why not, and then come back to me when you're ready to move forward. All right, guys, so we are now going to move on and we're going to start researching GMOs and tracking access to healthy foods. So which question will you focus on in your research? So We have got to gather evidence, sources, and research findings in the access to healthy food research. So remember, I told you guys to have this up earlier. Okay. So the central research question is, how do GMOs influence our access to healthy food? Okay. So as you are collecting more information, this is where you guys should put it, right? As you're finding evidence and you're finding sources and you're finding more research, this is where you should gather it, okay? So I want you guys to spend a little bit more time today researching GMOs. And how do GMOs influence our access to healthy foods? Remember, we wrote down some of the additional questions that you might explore to help you get some more information. I'll go through those again. What are the benefits of GMOs? What are the potential dangers of GMOs? What might be the long-term effects of GMOs on our health? And what might be the long-term effects of GMOs on the environment? So I'm going to ask that you guys spend a little bit of time. You guys can work in partners to do this. Do some more research, add some more things to this log, and then we'll come back together when you guys are finished and we'll close out for today. All right, guys. So after conducting research with your partner, what information did you find to answer your focus questions? And what are some of the credible sources you cited in your research? How do you know they're credible sources? I want you guys to have this discussion as a whole group because I think everybody can benefit from hearing the answers to these questions, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Your teacher can leave this up so you guys can have this discussion. This is our closing for today, and I'll see you guys again very soon in lesson 3.